Hi and welcome to the channel. Today we are going to discuss about Azure AD Connect. Azure AD Connect is a Microsoft tool designed to bridge on-premise Active Directory with Microsoft Entra ID, formerly Azure Active Directory. It enables organizations to synchronize identity data such as users, groups, and credentials between their local directory and the cloud. This synchronization allows on-premise identities to be used seamlessly with Microsoft Cloud services like Microsoft 365, Azure, and other SaaS applications that rely on Entra ID for authentication. Azure AD Connect supports multiple authentication models, including password hash synchronization, password through authentication, and federation, giving organizations flexibility to choose the approach that best fits their security and compliance requirements. By maintaining a consistent identity across on-premise and cloud environment, Azure AD Connect forms a core component of hybrid identity architecture. In our demo for today, we are going to use password hash sync, which is the simplest and recommended approach by Microsoft. I am going to create a virtual network in Azure, which simulates our on-premise local network. And in this network, I'm going to create a virtual machine which acts as our domain controller, as you can see in the picture. And then I'm going to create another virtual machine which will join to this domain, and I'm going to show you a step by step how to do that. And after that, we are going to establish the synchronization between the domain controller and our Azure Active Directory. So without wasting any time, let's dive in. Okay, I'm logged in Azure and I have a resource group called RG Demo. And inside this resource group, I have an Azure Active Directory tenant, which I'm going to show you in a moment. Here in this tab, I am in Azure Entra ID, if you can search it right here. From here, you can, if you are going to create a new tenant for the demo, and of course you can also use your default tenant for this demo. If you want to create a new one, basically you come here, and I have here already one. You click the create button and you can choose Microsoft Entra external ID, and in the configuration you can give the organization name or domain name that you want, and also you can define your region and resource group and so on. I am going to create now a new user in the tenant, and we are going to use this user for our synchronization. So we can go to the manage tenant, and here we click switch. I go to the user menu, create a new user. I will call it sync admin and sync admin. Also, I am going to give a password. I'm going to add here a new role, which is going to be the global administrator. And these roles you can see in the screen are different than the roles which are the RBAC roles for managing the resources. These are the roles specifically for the Azure AD. So if we search here global administrator, this is the role that we are going to assign to the newly created user, and we click create. Okay, we see now our user is created. So now I'm going to log in with our newly created user because we need to enable the multi-factor authentication. From this tab, I'm going to click on new incognito window and search for a portal. We need to change our password first. This is the new password I'm going to. I'm going to use a Microsoft application for the multi-factor authentication. Okay, we could establish our multi-factor authentication, and this user is ready to go. Okay, we are in the portal. I'm going to close the window now, and inside our resource group, I'm going to create a virtual network. Here, we call it VNet demo, West Europe, and we go with the default configuration and we click create. Okay, the next step is to create our domain controller virtual machine. So from the menu, I click on the virtual machine and create a new virtual machine. Okay, from the resource group RG demo, the name is VMDC, like domain controller, West Europe, and no infrastructure. I go with Windows Server 2025 data center. The user is Azure admin, and also I give a password. We enable the RDP port and we go to the disk. Inside the networking, we will place our domain controller virtual machine to our network, which is VNet demo. And management next. Inside monitoring, I will disable the monitoring and review create. Okay, the domain controller is deployed. So we need to turn our IP address to an static one, which is attached to our network interface. I click on this link and we will open our network interface. Inside the IP configuration, I click on the IP config, and here we just select a static, and our private IP address now is 10.0.1.4. I click save. Okay, the IP is saved. As you can see here, we have the static mode, and now is the time to RDP to the server. So from here, I click connect, downloading the RDP file. Okay, I'm logged in the server, and we click on the add role and features. Here, I'm going to install Active Directory domain services. With that in place, we will turn our server to a domain controller. The installation is complete. I close this dialog, and from here, we need to promote the server to a domain controller. I will choose add a new forest, and Here I will say sharing demo or root domain name dot local and click next. I will enter here a password. Also click next. We wait for the installation to finish and then we will continue. The server got restarted automatically after the installation, and now we are going to again connect to the server with the RDP session. And now here I'm going to use our newly created domain. So it will be sharing demo backslash Azure admin and our password. And now we should be able to connect to the server. Okay, from the server manager window, from tools menu, I open the Active Directory users and computer. And this shows that we successfully installed Active Directory. Under the sherwin.local, I will create a new organization unit. We call it IT department. I will also create a new organization unit. I will call it sales department, and another one HR department for our demo today. And I'm going to create 3 users, 1 user for each of the departments for the test demo. Okay, right click on the IT department and click new user. Say John Smith. We give a password, and I will uncheck the user must change password for the next login and click next and finish. Also under the sales department, we create another user, call it Sarah, for example, Lee. Next, giving the password. Also here I will create another user. Mark, Jason. The next step is that I'm going to create a new virtual machine, which is called VMweb, and I will join this virtual machine to the domain controller so you can see how this works in the on-premise networking, and then we will continue with the next steps. Okay, from the menu, click on the virtual machine. Create a new virtual machine. Our resource group is RGDemo, VM web, no availability zone, and we go with the same Windows Server 2025 data center, and here we give username, password. The RDP port is going to be opened, and we go to the disk. Under the networking, we join to our network VNet demo, and we go to the monitoring tab and we disable the monitoring and create. The virtual machine is deployed. Let's go to the resource. We need to go to our network interface, and here under the DNS servers menu, custom, and here we need to give our domain controller's private IP address and click save. After that, we have to go back and restart the server. Okay, now should be able to RDP to the server with our domain credentials. I will download the RDP file. I will log in with a different user, which is our and the password. I'm logged in the server. From the start menu, we need to right click here and go to the system. Advanced system settings and computer name. We would like to change to the domain, which is Sherwin demo.local. The username and our password. And we got the message, welcome to the sherwindemo.local domain. We click OK. And the system needs to be restarted. So after that, we will continue. Okay. Now we need to verify that our VM web server is actually connected to the domain controller. So let's RDP again to the web. I'm going to open the command line and run this command. And as you can see, we are successfully joined to our domain. And now we can successfully continue our demo to install Azure AD Connect on the DS server and sync our users to Azure AD. I will go to the domain controller session, and here I already downloaded the Azure AD Connect application. You can search it on the Google, of course, and download it. I did it because to save time. And I'm going to install it so you can see how it's going to happen step by step. We agree with the license, and I choose here the express settings. If you remember, at the beginning of the demo, we created a sync administrator on the Azure AD, and I'm going to use that credential here to be able to open the bridge between our on-premise network and also Azure AD. And here we need to also enter our credentials for our domain controller. Here I will choose continue without matching and press install. Let's wait for the installation to finish, and after the installation we should be able to see our user syncs to Azure ID. The configuration is completed. As we can see on the screen, it is written that the configuration is completed. You can now log in to the Azure or Office 365 portal to verify that user accounts from your local directory have been created. So let's do that. And now if I go to my tenant, which I created for this specific demo, we had there two users, and now if I refresh here, we should be able to see our newly created users. And there we go. Here in this tab, we can see that these three users are coming from on-premise synced enabled, which is true or yes. And now with this approach, we have our single identity for users and simplified identity management, plus improved security posture and hybrid phased cloud adaptation and reduced administrator overhead. For having more information about Azure AD Connect, you can definitely check the Microsoft documentation and know about it more. By the way, if you are interested about how to create a custom private DNS server in Azure or creating a private DNS zone, you can check out these videos which are currently appearing on the screen. And I would like to thank you for watching and hopefully see you in the next video. Until then, take care. Bye.